Welcome back to Proud Masculine. I'm Joe. And in today's video, we're going to piggyback off the last topic. The topic from the last video, which is shame, toxic shame. And here's one of the leading causes of it. And we're going to get into that right now. And the topic is shoulding. And what the shoulding is, it's a cognitive distortion that generates shame. It's like having this little asshole running around inside of your head that's constantly finding fault and criticizing you. It's like this little internal voice, just beating you down. And look, recognizing your part in something and your limitations and things you need to improve on is one thing. But shoulding is not that, and shoulding does not help. All the shoulding does is sends these messages to your brain that you aren't and won't be good enough. It's really simple. Notice, pause, explore, clarify, and act. It's inevitable. You're going to should yourself. And it's going to be, man, I should have. And this is when you got to notice. I should have done X, Y, Z. I should have been more attentive. I should have taken the garbage out more. Whatever. That right there, notice that you're going into that space. Notice you're going into that place. You're going into your head in that direction. So that's notice, pause. Then after that, you're going to explore the should. So here with in the exploration, not only can you find a way to reframe it, reword it. Make it a could. I could have. Yes, you could have. Did I? No. Can I? Will I have another opportunity in the future to be more attentive, be a better listener, have more emotional self-control, whatever you should in yourself about? And the answer is yes. It seems like the end of the world, but it's not. Life will move on. Eventually you're going to meet somebody else. And if you do this kind of work and you stifle this type of behavior and thinking, and improve, go inside and go deep and make these changes and improvements that need looking at, and fixing your self-worth and self-image, and reinventing yourself and bringing yourself to be that person that you really want to be, that you really have the potential to be and are capable of being. You're going to meet somebody better. But this is the work that requires that. And having the awareness to stop yourself and change course, change direction. Acuity. I know I've mentioned that in another video. Having acuity. And if you doubt it, just think, how has this thinking, how has this self-concept and the self-image and this whole view of yourself, how has it worked out for you so far in life? You're watching a video on YouTube about how to get over your ex or get your ex back. So that should give you an inclination that it's not working. So to prevent that from happening again and really heal and heal from this old shit that even allows you to talk to yourself like that, and building up real self-esteem, real confidence, don't go externally for validation seeking, getting this from within yourself. Doing this work is going to allow you to find somebody else and allow them to find you, because they're the lucky ones. And the one who lost you, good fucking riddance. They lost you. That's how you have to see it. Having the acuity to realize you're beginning that self-talk that should. Explore it. Should I have done things differently? Yeah. Could I? Yes. Will I? Yes. Do you see how you slowly turn that? You reframe that into a positive. That's the beginning. That's huge. You've just shifted. You've cognitively made a change in your thinking. Making that change and going through those steps. Did I? Should I? Could I? Will I? Yes. That's clarification on the matter. Now you got that out in the open. Now it's time to act. And you're going to get the opportunity to act. And you're going to get the opportunity again when another should comes up, should have, when you start shoulding yourself, you're going to have the opportunity to do it again. And that is growth. That is progress. And that's what this looks like. That's what this rebuilding process looks like. These little repetitions, the seemingly repetitive, tedious, these small little acts of these little interruptions and changes and, redirecting. This is what growth looks like. This is what progress looks like. And this is what it takes. An accumulation of these little reps over months with other things, the other things that I talked about, the physical, the mental, spiritual, emotional. This is part of it. And the reason I brought the should is because I shoulded myself to death, like for probably way longer than I should have. Well, see, just did it. And it's inevitable. You're going to go through it. And the important thing is that you recognize and correct course. Correcting that course all boils down to, recognizing this toxic thinking, these toxic patterns, and these unhealthy toxic patterns that we impose on ourselves. And I know it's not even a conscious, it doesn't even come to our awareness on a conscious level. This is just a place from where we operate from, especially in the beginning of a breakup. That's the position mentally you're in, emotionally. That's the position you're in. And then look, the last thing you want to do is, have to ever hear from your ex again and start telling them all this shit you should have done differently. Like, that doesn't bode well for you reconnecting and reigniting a relationship, leading with all this self-doubt. If the time comes when you're having that conversation, you can simply say, yeah, I've made mistakes. You can acknowledge you made a mistake. You can acknowledge whatever, it was unattractive. I wouldn't even go that far. So yeah, you made a mistake. Yeah, I made mistakes. I'm human. I'm imperfect. But I never gave up. And this is what you should also do with your shoulds as part of this is when you have that awareness and you start to should yourself and you reframe it into could I have, will I, yes. And then say, and make sure to punctuate that thought, that moment with something that you did do well. Make sure that goes in there. Make damn sure that goes in there. Because that's the most important thing. And, reframing your, redoing your mental wiring, where your default response is not to shit all over yourself. And I didn't say should that time, I said shit. Because that's what we do in the beginnings of a breakup. And that's just old shit that comes up to surface in these times. And that's going to be your default response if you don't have that worked out. The important thing is that with this time you have, is you have an opportunity to rewrite that story. You have an opportunity to change your self-talk. You have an opportunity to shore up these limitations or unresolved issues and traumas. You have a golden opportunity to make a huge shift and to never have to experience this in life again or go through that kind of anguish again. And look, if you need my help, ProudMasculine.com, pricing, booking phone one-on-one. I'll leave the link in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, I have a link to donate. If you think what you heard here today is useful, leave a donation. It only helps support the channel and helps me grow the channel. Gives me more time to do videos to help people who really need to hear this. And you can share it also. And look, this is just part of it. I go over all these little subtopics and, little things that I think about as they come up. And this is from my own experience. This is from my experience of helping other men recover and work through this process, through the reinvention process, through no contact, through when times get really hard, because they do, and they will. And what you do in those moments is going to determine what your months ahead look like. And if you're not prepared and you're in your head and doing the same things, you're going to wind up in the same exact boat. If your goal is to get back with your ex, you're going to cave. You're not going to hold your shit together. The separation anxiety is going to get the best of you. And you're going to rationalize your way into reaching out. And it's going to may lead to some unfavorable, unwise behavior and decision making. And which only obviously is only going to push that person further and further and further away to where you have no chance. And if you don't want or don't get your ex back, you're just going to repeat and relive the same experience at some point. And in my mind, I've done that too years ago. Taking the time, yeah, it gets better. In a few months' time, say a few months, months down the line, you go off, even if you don't do anything, eventually you start feeling better again. Your chemicals, everything resets. You start feeling good again. You start getting that, all the feel-good chemicals reset, all these neurotransmitters, and everything's firing normal again. You pass that detox period. You meet somebody else, and guess what they give you? Another hit of the feel-good. You forget all about that whole other experience. You can't even remember feeling bad. But the behavior, the characteristics, the underlying issues are still there. That's not good either. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.